Austin has grown from this small city to being the 11th largest city in the US. After a lifetime of living in Austin, I've watched this city transform, sometimes for the better, sometimes not so much. Today, I'm going to break down what I genuinely love about this city, what drives me crazy, what's coming next, and who Austin is genuinely good for. Austin is one of the fastest growing cities in the country, but I still think Austin has that small town feel, unlike Dallas and Houston. I remember what feels like just 10 or 15 years ago, we were just breaking that million-person population, and now we are looking at 2.3 to 2.5 million people in 2024 and into 2025. They are expecting over 3 million people in the Austin metro area by 2030. That is just mind-blowing to me. So if you guys don't know me, my name's Steph Bartone. I am an Austinite, born and raised in Austin, and I have seen this city grow from a small little city that was surrounded by hill country, not so much traffic, that really amazing Austin vibe, until it exploded over the last few years and has changed drastically. So I'm gonna dive deep into why I still live in Austin, why I've never left Austin, and why I have zero plans to move. I'm also going to tell you the things that I don't love so much about the city and why some people don't really love Austin, or what makes me kind of cringe about the city. All right, the number one reason why I love Austin and what I think will never change, at least in my lifetime, is the outdoors, the parks, the trails, the beautiful beauty of Austin, the beautiful lake that flows through Austin downtown, and how much there is to do in the city. So starting from the outdoors, there are places like Lady Bird Lake, Butler Trail, Redbud Park, Zilker Park. There's so many different beautiful water holes. There's trails. There are a lot of trails throughout different neighborhoods, and a trail that goes all the way around Lake Austin downtown. And I really think that is a beautiful thing in Austin. You do not see that in Dallas, Houston, or I don't even think you see that in San Antonio. I think one of the biggest attractors to Austin is the beautiful topography and scenery of Austin. It is such a beautiful city. Even though it has become a more crowded city, I don't ever think Austin will lose the mass amount of parks, the outdoors, and what people truly love about Austin. There's so many places to walk, to hike and bike. It's a very pedestrian-friendly, bike-friendly city, and I think that's what a lot of people love about Austin, and that's definitely what I love about Austin. So to go a little bit deeper into that, you've got places, like I said, Zilker Park, that has Barton Springs. It's a beautiful springs pool. You've got the greenbelts in the hill country of Hamilton Pool. You've got Pedernales Falls. You have McKinney Falls. You've got the Barton Creek Greenbelt. One big thing that people love about Austin is the paddleboarding and the kayak on Lake Austin, and there's also some different areas throughout Austin that you can throw your paddleboard and just have a really peaceful, beautiful, scenic view. Now, another thing I think Austin does really well with is that, yes, you have to have a car in Austin, but there are a lot of walkable neighborhoods, especially if you're close to the downtown corridor, or there are some suburbs that are up and coming that are starting to develop the mixed use that you can walk from your neighborhood into going to grab a bite to eat, walking around the neighborhood, or just walking to where the downtown area is of that suburb. So some really cool neighborhoods that really embodies the Austin charm is Tarrytown, Hyde Park, Clarksville, East Austin, and South Congress area. Also, Mueller on the east side is a very walkable area. It is a beautiful part of Austin. It's where the airport used to be years and years ago. Then you have the Domain, which is North Austin. You have Easton Park, which is a huge master plan community that is in the southeast part of Austin. You have Whisper Valley, which is out towards Manor, and they're starting to put a lot of mixed use area out there. You have La Cima that is also putting in a lot of mixed use area and some walkability. You've got Goodnight Ranch, and there's so many more coming soon. They're really trying to develop these suburbs and surround them by mixed use areas with trails and walkable areas. And I know they're doing a huge project in the Kyle Buda area that's going to connect all the different subdivisions to be able to be walkable. And I'm sure this is years down the line, but this is the thought process that they are really trying to work hard to keep that Austin culture of the beautiful outdoors. All right, another one. Austin is known for its live music and hosts some of the largest music festivals. Being an Austinite, I'm not gonna lie, these are not my favorite. This is not something that I did growing up, and some people might bash me for being an Austinite and never really going to ACL or South by Southwest or any of the other large festivals that come to the area. It's just never really been my vibe. There's so many people that come into Austin during these times, and it is just a cluster in Austin. So I actually have gone to ACL in recent years and I really enjoyed it, but it's definitely still just not something that I love to do. But I do love the live music. There's tons of live music all over Austin, whether it's East Austin, downtown Austin. You can catch live music in some of the suburbs. In the South Austin area off Manchac, they have tons of live music like Armadillo Den. And then you also have some festivals that have been around forever, like the Pecan Festival, that I think is awesome. It's a huge art and local festival, and it was downtown for many years. In the last 2 years, they actually had to move it out into Bee Cave, the Hill Country Galleria area, because how many vendors and how large the festival was growing. So some other things is the food scene has really gotten amazing here in Austin. There are some parts of Austin that is not like super foodie friendly. Like I still think there's like south of downtown area that still is missing a variety of restaurant, but there are some Michelin star, some amazing head chefs, and some really, really amazing food all throughout Austin, whether it's the downtown, north of downtown, East Austin. Like East Austin has some amazing restaurants. And so I think the food scene has definitely got better here. Now, we aren't Houston, but I've heard Houston has like an amazing food culture, but Houston is also like probably close to double our size. So obviously they've been developed a lot longer than we are, but Austin is continuing to make the food scene and the food trailers here such a big deal, and some amazing chefs, even out of food trucks, are really starting to develop all throughout Austin. That's one thing that I really love about Austin is the amount of food trucks that we have. If you're at a bar, some of the bars have 2 to 5 food trucks of a variety of different foods, and I just think that's something that you just don't see in San Antonio, Dallas, or Houston. And I think it's something that started here in Austin, that has grown here in Austin, and that will continue to grow for the company that maybe can't afford or doesn't want to be a brick and mortar. So these are the things that I love about Austin. I really truly love Austin as much as it has grown, and the population has grown from 1 million 20 years ago into almost what we're projected to see 3 million in 2030. It is grown insanely, and I never think they thought Austin would be the city we are today. And some of the reasons why Austin is expanding is because of the job market. Austin is the #1 city to grow a small business, and it's because of some of the universities that we have here and the school districts. The education quality here in Austin is what they call top tier, with having UT, University of Texas at Austin, and even some of the public schools like Eanes ISD, Lake Travis, Round Rock, Leander, and Dripping Springs ISDs that are some of the best in Texas. And then you have the job market. The job market has continued to stay steady here in Austin. It exploded in the 2020 scene where we saw things just kind of go crazy with remote workers. A lot of people moved here. We saw a lot of major tech companies move here. We are continuing to see major tech companies coming here. Has it slowed down? Yes, it has slowed down, but we still have major names here in Austin like Realtor.com, Google, Apple, Amazon. We have Samsung, and we have so many other major and even small startup businesses here in Austin that has kept this job market healthy. So even with the slowdown of Austin and everybody thinking, oh my God, Austin is done, the boom is over, everything, nobody wants to move to Austin anymore. That is not true. People are continuing to move here. We needed the slowdown because of the mass amount of people that were coming here, and our infrastructure and the affordability issue was definitely something that we needed to pump the brakes on. So I definitely think it's something that was a good thing but continues to keep our city growing. All right, so I'm gonna talk about a few cons just real quick. The big one being heat. A lot of people move here and we are not like Houston. We don't have the crazy humidity, but we do have humidity here, anywhere from like 40 to 60% on a day-to-day basis, especially in the spring to summertime when we've got a lot of rain, or in the summer, even when it's dry, the humidity still sticks. So it could feel like 90, or it could say it's 90 to 95 degrees outside, but with our humidity level, it is like 100 and 110 degrees. This year in 2025, we actually probably had one of the most mild summers that I've seen in a really long time. So we, I think, only broke 100 degrees like maybe 7 to 10 times this year, when typically we are in the hundreds July, August, and sometimes even further on. We never really know when our fall is coming, and sometimes we don't even get a fall. Sometimes we go straight from a really, really hot summer to a freaking cold winter. It is insane, and not everybody can handle our heat. And so I do think some people end up leaving once they realize that, holy crap, it is hot here in Austin. Number two, it is traffic. Traffic is atrocious here. There's no getting around traffic. It has gotten worse and worse. I miss 2020 when there was no traffic on the road, and we are probably one of the worst cities nationally for our size city for traffic. And I think it's going to take a lot for them to build the infrastructure and really figure out how to fix the issues that we're having. Right now, they are creating a overpass out in Dripping Springs, and the 290 overpass that's going to go into Austin, that you can kind of skip the what we call the Y, which is really going to help, and they're moving along on that project finally. And then we've got 35 that is under construction and is going to continue to be under construction for multiple years as they are trying to widen. They are trying to create caps and stitches, which is parks and things over the highways on top of connecting the east and the west side, and easily be able to venture from one side to the other is what their plan is. It's been a huge issue with the budgeting and everything else that they're trying to get done, and they're continuing to expand 35 just pretty much all throughout Austin, and they are expecting Austin and San Antonio to become one big old metro like the Dallas-Fort Worth, which they've been saying that for a while now, but we will see if that actually happens. The suburbs between Austin and Dallas continue to grow, and the traffic is continuing to get worse and worse, so they are going to have to figure out something on widening 35 to get in between Austin and San Antonio. There's a lot of people that live in San Marcos or New Braunfels that commute into Austin, or they commute into San Antonio. New Braunfels is kind of that halfway point in between us and San Antonio area. All right, the third one of the cons is affordability. Everybody knows that Austin has become unaffordable ever since COVID happened, when prices hiked and went kind of insane. So pre-COVID, 2018, 2017, you used to be able to get a house in the $200,000 to $300,000 price point, and that is not the thing anymore. So that is one thing that we are not so good on as far as being the metro cities in the Texas area. Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio continue to be cheaper than what you can find here in Austin. That's why they are starting to build out into the suburbs to try to make and find more affordable options. They are also trying to find affordable ways to build homes here in the Austin metro area, but it is unfortunate and it has been a struggle, especially people like myself that have grown up in Austin, and that I know people that I meet that have owned their homes for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and their property taxes have just gone through the roof. So even though affordability has become an issue, people still love Austin and continue to move here, just at a little bit of a slower pace. So how could Austin be better? Austin definitely can be better in certain areas, one of them being public transportation. So we do have the Project Connect light rail that they are continuing to improve and grow from what it used to be, or when they started building that a few years back. It goes from downtown, and I believe it goes into the Leander area, but that's really like the only transportation line. You have some buses, you've got city buses that travel like throughout the Austin area, but they only go, I think, up to like North Austin, almost into Pflugerville area, and that's about the cutoff. And then they go into the South Austin, say the Slaughter Manchac area, and they don't go any further south than that. But if you're looking to travel throughout Austin, you definitely need a car here. There's not really a way to get around not having a car unless you just love riding a bike for miles and miles, which I've seen people do. But all in all, you really need a car here. Another thing that we spoke about earlier is the more walkable mixed use areas. We spoke about some earlier, and they're continuing to grow and build mixed use, not just in the suburbs, but through Austin. There's multiple projects going on right now, one being the Riverside area, which is going to be a huge mixed use. I think they said it's going to be like the largest project here in Austin to build in the mixed use. And Riverside is actually, you've got easy access into the Lady Bird Lake, and it is becoming a really beautiful area. There's also another one in the Lamar 290 area. There are multiple ones going all throughout the suburbs, one of the larger ones being La Cima down south, which is in San Marcos. So we are continuing to see these large projects happen and create these areas that are super walkable and are creating like a mixed use area. So if you live in a neighborhood, whether it's an apartment complex or a housing subdivision, you can walk to restaurants, you can walk to like the pickleball courts, you can stroll through a park. You know, they're starting to build like more and more parks. So this is something that I think is really needed in Austin, and we're slowly starting to see that develop. All right, so some big projects that are coming to Austin. We touched on a couple, but the biggest one being the airport. The airport is expanding and it's starting to break ground in 2026. They are looking to double the airport to where there can be 40 million passengers per year. That's double what we're seeing today. So this is going to be a huge thing for Austin. This is going to help the growth, the expansion. It's going to help bring more flights into the Austin area, whether it's direct flights or connecting flights. And this is going to be a huge project that is coming soon and looking to be completed in 2032. Also, we talked about the I-35 Capitol Express area, 8 miles through the downtown that's being rebuilt. The Project Connect, which is that transit that we talked about earlier. There is a huge destination project coming to the southeast Austin area, close to the Del Valley. That is the Austin Surf Club. It is going to be a huge development of mixed use. They're gonna put homes, residential, townhomes, apartments, and it's gonna be a huge surf park. I think you can even paddleboard in it. You can kayak, and it's gonna be like a full adventure park. So this is gonna be a huge park that has a wave pool and so much more. This is, I believe, starting to break ground, and I'm sure it's going to take multiple years as they're going to build this in phases. Another one is Pura Vida in Mustang Ridge, which is right next to this area. It's a $1.3 billion mixed-use project, including a surf lagoon, 6,000 homes, commercial and retail. And then they are expanding the Easton Park expansion with thousands of homes, community amenities, and also some mixed-use area. They also have multiple projects that are going into the east side that is close to the Tesla campus. He's got the Boring Company, and Elon Musk, from what I hear, has multiple plans to continue to grow on the east side of Austin. As far as corporate, you've got the Samsung Taylor Mega Campus that is up and coming. You've got the Apple North Campus that is continuing to grow, and you've got so many more projects that are going to fuel the job market throughout Austin for years and years to come. So, to go a little bit deeper on the growth throughout Austin and the suburbs, I want to touch on some of the suburbs. You've got Georgetown, which is one of the fastest growing cities in the US. Population is up 26%. Leander is booming and has a new downtown Northline district coming soon, and a lagoon project that's kind of been on hold and a little bit wishy-washy, but possibly looking to get a lagoon out in that area. You have Round Rock that is established with Dell and healthcare. You've got Hutto that is emerging affordable housing, and also has their co-op that is expanding, their downtown, and so much more. They've got a lot of new restaurants that are going out that way as well. You've got the South growth like Buda, Kyle, San Marcos. We're seeing a ton of growth with the downtown in Kyle. They're pretty much revamping the whole downtown in Kyle. You've got Buda, that's got a beautiful small town suburb, outdoorsy downtown. You've got Dripping Springs, which is a hill country lifestyle that's a little bit more on the luxury side of things. Even though you can find some homes in the $500,000 price point, Dripping Springs is one of the more expensive Southwest neighborhoods and in the beautiful hill country. You've got New Braunfels that is exploding in growth, and major master plan adding 6,000 homes with schools, retail, and a new Costco got announced in New Braunfels. On the east side, you have Manor that is going to be proximity to the Samsung Taylor and some more affordable homes. You also have the Tesla factory over there. You've got Bastrop that is looking to expand and have a huge master plan community. If you haven't been out to Bastrop in a while, it has blown up. It has blown up and grown. In the Austin-San Antonio corridor, they're expecting 6 to 7 million residents by 2030. So earlier I said 3 million, and that was the Austin metro. This, I think, is Austin and San Antonio together. So half being Austin and pretty close to half, if not a little bit more, being in San Antonio. So as someone that's grown up in Austin, it used to feel like a small town, and it continues, in my opinion, feels like a small town. Even though we're seeing massive growth, I think Austin has stayed true to its heart of just really great people. The people in the community is what I think has continued to keep Austin with the Austin vibes. I think you go to other major cities and people are more in a hurry, they're in a rush, and they just are not as friendly. So I do think Austin has kept its charm. You can pretty much walk up to people in Austin and ask them directions or what their favorite restaurant is, or walk up to them and be like, hey, what are you eating? And people will respond. They'll open the door for you. They'll say you're welcome. They say thank you. They're just a very Southern, genuine charm. And that's what I love about Austin, and why I feel like I have never left Austin and have no plans on leaving. Even though Austin is growing and we are seeing a huge influx from international migration and even still domestic migration, I think people that come to Austin come here because of the culture and the community. So what do you guys think about Austin? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you plan on moving here? Do you live in Austin? Were you born and raised here just like me? I'd love to hear from you. And if you are looking to move in or out of Austin, I would love to help. My name's Steph Bartone, your Austin realtor. If you don't know me, I am a born and raised Austinite, and I truly love helping people make their mark here in Austin. So my contact information is on the screen, and thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, I am here to be a resource, so no pressure. Give me a call, shoot me a text. I'm happy to help, and I look forward to seeing you on my next video. Peace out.